Whether or not say foul play yet, we're going to look at every aspect as if there was foul play.
Foul play. She didn't come home that night. Police say she was last seen with her boyfriend.
The ex-boyfriend told the tension between the two.
Debbie's ex-boyfriend is a fellow Las Vegas performer.
Jason Blue Griffith.
Debbie's car is found. Her purse is still inside.
She didn't show up.
She just kept saying, you know, wait for me, respect me.
An October arrest report alleged he also pushed her down and proceeded to kick her and pull her hair.
It's not her to go missing. It's not her to go take a small vacation.
I'm G. Casares of In Session, in for Nancy Grace tonight. Well, there was a court date this morning. The ex-boyfriend, Drew Griffin, was supposed to meet and appear in regard to domestic violence coercion charges. He didn't show up. He had his attorney there for him. The question is, why didn't he show up, especially since someone who was bearing his child is gone? She's completely gone. I want to go out to Marilys Monzon, a very close friend of Debbie Flores. In fact, Debbie is supposed to spend Christmas with you. I want to ask you, what is a normal day in the life of a Las Vegas showgirl, Debbie Flores?
Well, with Debbie, it's kind of rare to actually have some really good quality time with her, and I appreciate it every time I do. She's really busy with rehearsals. She works Friday, Saturday nights. She told me that's her priority at the Playboy or at Rain at the Palms. She dances for them, and then she has rehearsals, so she's always really tired. And so the time that I do spend with her, it's really meaningful.
To the caller is Judy in Illinois. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Jean. Thank you for taking my call.
You're
my
welcome.
question is twofold. Now, last night, her sister indicated she was no longer pregnant. If she had a miscarriage as a result of the beating, could her boyfriend be charged with more charges? Number two, if she had a procedure to terminate the pregnancy, could he have been upset with that? They got into an argument and things escalated from there.
Good question.
To Celeste Flores-Narvaez, the sister of Debbie Flores, I know this is a very, very sensitive question, but you did tell us last night that you knew your sister was pregnant, and you also knew that when she went missing that she was not pregnant. Do you know how that pregnancy ended?
I'm not going to comment on that, but I do want to make sure that everybody knows my sister did not have low self-esteem about herself. She was very, very, very positive and highly thought about herself. She loved everything about herself. She had a happy life. She just loved, and when she loved hard. That's a big difference. So I just want to clear that up, that she did not have low self-esteem.
All right, thank you for saying that. To Alex Sanchez, defense attorney out of New York, if in fact this alleged kicking, beating, punching led to the child not being able to be born, is that just an aggravating factor, or are there charges out there that he subsequently could face?
No, there are charges out there he could face, and depending on the degree of the pregnancy, he could face possible murder charges, murdering that child, depending on the state. But something about that case, Nancy, in her absence, this case may be very hard to prosecute, the case where he had assaulted her, unless there's an independent witness. Or if the police can prove that her absence was caused by him.
Right.
But without those two factors, unfortunately, that case may collapse.
Right, but what you're saying, what normally would be hearsay, statements that she made to the police, to her friends, if it can be found by a preponderance of the evidence that he caused her to not be that witness in court for the domestic violence charges, then all of that can come in.
Exactly.
So she can be that witness that maybe isn't there physically, but testifies anyway.
Exactly, but you have to have hearings, and you have to take testimony. You have to be sworn testimony. There has to be evidence linking him to her disappearance. If they could do that, they may be able to get that hearsay evidence in and convict him of that offense.
But at this point, we need to find her. Debbie Flores, the tip line, everybody, 702-828-2907. A beautiful 31-year-old young lady, educated and just beginning the career of her dreams. To Linda in Florida. Hi, Linda.
Hi. My heart goes out to the family, first of all. And why I'm feeling so much about this case is because I have a sister to her grave 6 feet under because of domestic violence. And she died. She was murdered at the age of 33. So my heart really goes out to this family because I believe that man is really guilty because she's such a pretty young lady, and I don't know why she even settled for a deadbeat like him.
Well,
I believe he's...
we understand what you're saying, but I guess we can't be in Debbie Flores' shoes. To Celeste Flores-Narvaez, you can see the people are with you tonight. What message do you want to give to everybody out there to help to find your sister?
I want to say this. I want to say just because there was a domestic case against him, that doesn't mean that he did anything to her. Really right now, I'm allowing the police to do exactly what they are trained to do, and that is to follow all possible leads and question who they need to question. I don't believe in accusing anybody at all until proven guilty. And anybody watching, if you have any information in regards to my sister, please just call the authorities. Any little small detail could mean a huge deal. You know, just whether you saw her in the street or walking or driving in her car that night, it can place her in a certain place where we might have not known that she was there. So please just call and just bring her home.
Celeste, somebody has to know something, and we need her back. To Tom Shamshak, former police chief, private investigator, what Celeste is saying I think is extremely important here. All right, yeah, domestic violence, and prosecutors are charging that, but police should not discount obsessed fans, other people that she knew, because that could hinder CSI Vegas, right?
Absolutely, but again, they'll follow where the evidence takes them. And rest assured, the primary source of information right now they're focusing on is that automobile. They'll turn it upside down and look for any piece of evidence that will help in the prosecution of whomever was responsible for her abduction.
Because she was last seen in that vehicle.